They're written in elegant script, adorned with ornate borders and stamped with impressive seals. But if special care went into their creation, it's because these are not ordinary documents. Bearing the names of monarchs, presidents, and patriots, these formidable documents not only provide the basis for the state of Delaware, but the foundation for our nation's way of life. And these precious papers are indisputably the jewels of the Delaware Public Archives collection. Oldest of the group are the royal charter documents dating from 1682. They consist of a set of deeds and leases in which members of England's royal family transferred the lands that form present-day Delaware to Quaker leader William Penn. Although the Crown had already awarded Penn the colony of Pennsylvania to repay a debt to his family, Penn had requested additional lands along the Delaware Bay to gain access to the ocean. The documents were written on parchment, a material made from thinly stretched animal skin, using ink made from the hulls of nuts mixed with iron salt. Through much of the 19th century, these priceless documents lay half forgotten in the papers of a Penn family attorney. They eventually made their way into the hands of one of the attorney's relatives, Sarah Miller, who recognized their value. She reportedly refused a $50,000 offer from a British museum. Instead, in 1909, she donated the documents to the Delaware Public Archives for safekeeping. The United States Constitution is the remarkable document that created the framework for America's national government a few years after America had won independence from Britain. During the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in the summer of 1787, one of the most contentious issues was the composition of the new Congress. Small states feared losing their voice if representation was based on population, but Delaware delegate John Dickinson helped craft a key compromise. While representation in the House would be based on population, every state would have an equal number of lawmakers in the Senate. That compromise helped gain the support of small states like Delaware. And at a meeting at Dover's Golden Fleece Tavern on December 7, 1787, Delaware proudly became the first state in the nation to ratify the Constitution. No official proceedings of that momentous event have survived, but the archives has a humbler record of the meeting. Innkeeper Elizabeth Battell's bill for use of the tavern room, firewood, and candles. For all of its brilliance, the U.S. Constitution had a serious flaw. It lacked a declaration of individual liberties. Having recently freed themselves from oppressive English rule, Americans wanted assurances that their new federal government would not trample on important rights, like the freedom of speech, press, and religion. James Madison proposed a series of constitutional amendments that eloquently detailed those freedoms. And in 1789, Congress sent the so-called Bill of Rights to the states for ratification. At the time, Delaware's State House was still under construction, so delegates again met in a Dover tavern, approving all the amendments but one dealing with proportional representation. Other states notified Congress of their ratification actions in a separate letter, but Delaware's clerk chose to pen Delaware's ratification resolution directly on the bottom of their copy of the Bill of Rights. Federal officials considered Delaware's ratification notice to be federal property and locked it away for over 200 years. It wasn't until 2002 that Delaware officials reached an agreement with the National Archives to return the document to its home state.